Welcome back to Takacs McGinnis Elder Law Hour, where today we're talking about the many issues that relate to aging, disability, and unexpected illness. I'm Barbara McGinnis. In this particular episode, we're talking about legislation that affects seniors and vulnerable adults.
And I'm Tim Takacs, and in this segment, we're going to look more closely at legislation affecting veterans. Joining us in this session is the legislative liaison for the Montgomery County Veterans Coalition, Steve Singleton. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
So what do you do as the legislative liaison, I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my tongue here, for the Montgomery County Veterans Coalition?
It's basically information providing. We found out that a lot of the veterans, both in Montgomery County and around the state, are not that aware of state legislation that's going on and county and city issues directly related to veterans. So we provide that information, push that information out to them so that they've got it available and can take action on any that may apply to them.
Well, tell us more about the initiative to get veterans groups involved and how to represent veterans in this issue.
We started an initiative about 3 years ago that was a result of the property tax exemption issue, and we discovered that many of the veterans were not aware of the changes that had been made, and as a result they were quite angry about the changes, the reduction in the property tax exemption. At that time we created a Veterans Day on a Hill, which, like most organizations in the state, they have a day when they can go up and talk to their legislators. Well, the veterans didn't have a similar type of thing, so we put out a call to all the veteran organizations and had a day that we went up and had a face-to-face discussion with the legislators to talk to them about the specific issues with veterans. And it was a win-win situation because many of our veterans weren't even aware of who their local legislators were, and it gave them an opportunity to find out more about them. Right. So it was really very productive. And we've done that for the last 3 years, and we're hoping to formalize it this summer.
So in 2018, there has been some legislation, Tennessee legislation affecting seniors?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
We were very fortunate this year because the Veterans Caucus, which are either veterans or people that are interested in supporting veteran issues within the legislature, invited us to come and present any issues that we had. We brought 5 bills forward. All 5 were adopted within 24 hours, and 4 of the 5 were passed into law. So we're being more proactive instead of reacting to some of the things. Those that passed in 2018 included, we're asking the governor to consider appointing veterans to the state higher education boards. The GI Bill has changed from what it was previously. Before, it used to just be for the veteran. Because of the recent changes, both their spouses and children can use that GI Bill. So it's going to have a significant impact on the number of veterans or people who are attending higher education institutions that are funded by the VA. We also asked to have a veteran representative on the substance abuse and mental health boards that the governor appoints. Everyone's heard about the terrible issue of veteran suicides, up to 22 a day, substance abuse, opioid epidemic that's been going on. There's a kind of a parallel efforts being going on within the state and within the Veterans Administration, but they're not communicating with each other. So that kind of information on what's happening with the veterans needs to come to our state legislators as they're making laws to make sure that they know about the impact that it's having on the veterans.
Anything about the tax relief bill? The
tax relief bill, as stated earlier, in 2015, it was reduced by 42%. And that tax relief applied to permanent and totally disabled veterans, so that usually those who are not able to get a job because of whatever their disability is. And they also put an income means test on, which is the first time that happened. That got a reaction from the veterans. In 2016, we got the income means test removed, and then last year we were able to get the legislation changed back. So we basically brought it back to where it was before it was reduced. No increase, but we did bring it back to where it was, and it's been a tremendous benefit.
So does that bill apply to every veteran?
Not every veteran. It's the permanent and totally disabled veterans. Okay. Sometimes you'll hear the term used 100% permanent and totally, but really the caveat is that person, because of their disabilities, able to be fully employed. Yeah. So it involves a lot of discussion both with the county trustees and with the Veterans Administration representatives or county administrations who apply for those VA disabilities, because there are certain caveats in there, and want to make sure that everyone that is eligible is getting that exemption.
Anything else we're hoping to get passed this year?
Well, we've got a few items. We're having our main discussion at the end of this month, but some items that we're considering are, we had one bill that didn't make it through, that we want to come up with a standard naming convention for the VA homes. There are 4 in the state. 2 are named after veterans, 1's named after a legislator, 1's named after the region of Tennessee. We're not trying to drive it being named or not being named, but if the decision by the veterans in that area are to name that, we think there should be a committee and some formal process. And what we've tried to do is model that on the same process that's used for higher education institutions, naming of campuses or buildings on that. So it's standardized, and then all the veterans can understand if a building is named for a certain veteran, how that process worked. The other issues are, we want to get a Women Veterans Recognition Day. We've had a number of women veterans who have represented us at the Veterans Day on the Hill. It's quite a struggle to get some of the legislators and the public in general to understand the contribution that women veterans have made to the service. So we think that having a day like that would bring that forward a lot more.
Okay, so we have just a moment or two. We're going to put your contact information up.
Okay.
Tell us about how people can get in touch with you if they want more information about these bills.
Well, Montgomery County Veterans Coalition has their own website that you can reach us on that. As stated earlier, the state legislature has got a wonderful website that you can go to, and if you're searching for a bill, just type veteran or veteran affairs, and it'll pull up all of the veteran bills, and you can get a current status from that.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you, Steve, for being with us today. And next, when we return from our break, we'll be talking with people about adult day services and respite care. So stay tuned.